we got this beautiful little flower shop in the premium shop, and I absolutely love the way it looks. So I wanted to do a little village with this flower shop, and I really wanted this like kind of centerpiece, like circle sort of pathing, so I did that. I chose lots of buildings that I thought kind of matched the vibe, and especially Tiana's house. I absolutely love the way Tiana's house looks in this build. Like, I think that they work so perfectly together. The colors are just a perfect match. And then I used these other three buildings, which I thought kind of worked quite well. I do like this little cottage house skin. I think it blends quite nicely. And then also the bakery, because it has that little, what is that thing called? The shade thing at the front, which is like kind of an exact match. But yeah, I just did a little like playing around with placement and things because I wanted everything to be quite even. And I just extended this pathing out the front here. I thought that this Beauty and the Beast fountain would work so perfectly, and also just putting like extra little flowers around to kind of blend in the flower shop, because I do kind of want this to be like the primary focus of this build. This is quite a small build, but I think this would look so cute in like a bigger town, or even like a street of a town. I'm still waiting to do like a full build of like a massive town. I just feel like that'd be such a fun build to do. But yeah, I really wanted to do like this clock tower. I thought it would be too much just because it's like quite tall and the space isn't that big, but I think it works really nicely, especially because we can have the fountain on the other side and it feels a bit more like secluded. And yeah, I used the Ancients Landing trees, which I think work really well in this build and in this biome, the Forest of Valor Island, just because I feel like it blends quite nicely but it doesn't blend too much. One of my absolute favorite things to use are these little stone walls. I just think they look so good in any sort of cottagey build, even like farm builds. I just think they blend super nicely, and they're just a really good addition. So I use those to kind of make I want to say grand entrance, but it's not that grand. I then went in with a lot of foliage because yeah, I love foliage and also some little stones just kind of around everywhere because I really wanted it to feel quite like rustic. Honestly, a lot of this build was just putting in some like foliage and like cluttering everything up, but I feel like it's so worth it because it really gives that kind of cottagey, I want to say, what's the word, eclectic, I don't know how to say that word, but that kind of vibe. I also really wanted to put these tropical wood flooring because I feel like they give a nice touch to the build. They are a little bit like bright and kind of in your face. I wish that it was like a darker wood, but yeah, I still really like the vibe. On this kind of side, I put these little stone walls because I thought it would just make it look a little bit better and more put together, and then put lots of foliage and rocks. And then on the other side, I also did the same thing in between the cottage and bakery house skin. I just think it gives a nice like polished finished look when you do this kind of in the corners, and yeah, really makes the space feel like enclosed. I do use a lot of these like taller topiary bushes because I just like the look of them, and I like using them in towns because they're not too big and over the top. I used a mixture of my favorite flowers, just some pink and yellow flowers to kind of finish everything off, and I do really love the way that these flowers look here. I feel like the build isn't finished without flowers, which is kind of bad, but yeah, I use flowers in like every single one of my builds. And this is basically the final look of the build. I really love it. It's really small, but I'm happy with it. I just think that this flower shop skin is going to look so good in so many different builds. I'm waiting to put it in a city build, which I think it will look absolutely gorge. But yeah, I love the way that you can kind of mix it in with more like cottagey sort of vibes and like a bit more rustic. But yeah, I know it's gonna look perfect too in a more like structured sort of build. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this gave you some inspiration and you enjoyed the video. Bye bye.